feeling like a candy corn today. I'm here for it. I apologize if that, oh wow, I love that so many of my videos just start off with I apologize. Very on brand for me. But anyway, I apologize if my energy is a little subdued in this video, even though I have an exciting announcement to make. I've just been struggling quite a bit recently with the old mental health, not so much mental health, it's just we've come up to a year now in the pandemic. I haven't been employed the whole time, and if I'm honest with myself, I haven't really used the time off like effectively, and I'm just very scared of the future and the path that I've chosen for myself and whether or not I'm suited for it. But anyway, it's just been a fun old time, so hopefully this exciting announcement is gonna perk me up a little bit and it gives me something to get excited about, to look forward to, because today I'm announcing a little book club. And I really wasn't sure whether or not to do this because I know that there are so many book clubs on BookTube. There are so many like monthly live shows. There are so many that you can choose from, and a lot of them are probably going to be a lot better than mine, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it can be quite overwhelming because if you are subscribed to a lot of people, you obviously want to support everybody and you want to be there for everybody and watch all of their live shows, watch all of their discussion videos, but it's just not possible to read all of the books that you want to read in a month, all the books that you want to read for your own videos, and then also read books for other people's book clubs and live shows. It's just a lot and it's quite overwhelming. So I knew that if I was going to make a book club, it was going to be one that was just like no pressure, and one that I wouldn't mind if people didn't contribute to, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't make a BookTube tag video for ages because I was just so terrified that no one would do the tag and it would be really embarrassing. And then I made a tag video in October of last year called the Beetlejuice book tag or something, which was to do with Beetlejuice the musical, and no one did the tag. And you know what? It wasn't the end of the world. I still love that video. I still like the tag that I made, and hey, maybe someone will do it someday, but it's not the end of the world. It's fine. And what's very exciting is that I am co-running this little book club with one of my favourite people in the entire world, my friend B. B is not a booktuber, but she is my go-to person to talk about books, films, TV, literally anything. I've known B since we were like 10 years old, maybe not, we were 11. We met at summer school before year 7. We went to the same high school, we went to the same uni, we lived together at uni. She just knows me the best. And we have a lot of similar tastes in things like books and films. We fell absolutely in love with cinema and reading and just talking about stories, and B is an illustrator. She writes her own comics and illustrates them, and they are absolutely stunning, and you should definitely go and check out her work. We are both really interested in female-led narratives, so books and films written and created by women about women. We both really love fairy tales and folk tales and horror, and just the traditions of that type of storytelling. We both love Angela Carter, we both are really interested in Shirley Jackson, we both love Emily Carroll's comics, just all of the vibes. And that's why this book club is called the Briar Rose Book Club. And for this book club we will be picking books that focus on women, and also some books that delve into fairy tales and folk tales and reimagine these for a newer audience. And obviously Briar Rose is the classic folktale of Sleeping Beauty, so yeah, we are focusing on old fairy tale, folk tales, stories that are centered on the female experience, essentially. And I'm very excited for it. I mean, me and B always say that we want to read books and discuss them. We both really thrived in our like A-level English classes because we love discussing books like in a lot of detail, and since leaving high school neither of us have really had that experience again of like, you know, really properly reading into a book, reading into its language, reading into its themes, reading into its characters, and we both really miss that. And we keep saying to each other, oh yeah, we should read that book together and talk about it, or we should read this and then we should read that, and we need to talk about all these different books. And a lot of the books are quite similar in the sense that they're about young women, they're about coming of age. That's another thing that we're both really interested in. But life happens, you know, and we never seem to really get around to it. So at the beginning of the year I said to her, listen, like, do you want to just make a book club for BookTube so that, you know, we have set deadlines of when we have to read the books and we can discuss them, and, you know, other people are welcome to join. But if no one joins, it's not the end of the world, because we'll be reading books that we wanted to read anyway, and it's just like a little nudge for us to actually read them and discuss them. And so without further ado, I should tell you what book we're going to be reading. And unfortunately I didn't come up with this idea last year, so this book club isn't starting nice and neatly in January. Obviously it's starting in April, so April is going to be the first month of the book club, and then in the last week of April we'll probably have a live show discussing the book. And the book that we'll be reading throughout the month of April is Cat's Eye by Margaret Atwood. This is a book that has been on both of our radars for a very long time. I've never read a Margaret Atwood book, so I'm very excited to read this. I've been meaning to read her for literal years, so I'm really glad to be finally having to like force myself to read it, essentially. And B mentioned to me recently that, you know, we should read this together, and she thought I already had a copy, but I didn't. I think I've eyed it up several times in the bookshop, but I never took the plunge. And so B very kindly bought this for me through my bookshop.org affiliate link, and then sent it to me, and it has a lovely little note on the inside and just makes my heart so warm. And this book centers on, I believe it's set in a girls' school, or it's about female friendships, and I think the premise of the novel is there is a girl who was quite severely bullied at her school, and she didn't really understand the different sort of codes and conventions of female friendship, what you're supposed to do, what makes you get frozen out by your friends. She just didn't really understand the mechanics of it all and had quite a horrible time at school. And then years and years later, she'd, you know, moved away from her hometown, and then years and years later she comes back, and I think she comes face to face with her sort of high school bullies, and it's about how that affects her mentally and the kind of long-lasting effects of like schoolyard trauma, essentially. And the back has a quote on it that just says, "I have to sit on a window ledge by myself because they aren't speaking to me. It's something I said wrong, but I don't know what it is because they won't tell me. All of this is for my own good because they are my best friends and they want to help me improve." So yeah, I think it's about kind of toxic female friendships, and B and I went to a girls' school, so I think we will have a couple of thoughts on this one for sure, and it's definitely one that as soon as we heard about it we wanted to read together and talk about together, because we do have that shared experience of female friendships and the pitfalls and the toxicity, but also the jealousy and comparing yourself so much to your peers. A lot of that probably will be in this book. And just from looking at the first page, I know I'm gonna love this book. In chapter 1, there's a very short paragraph that obviously starts the book, but it's beautifully written and I'm so excited to read it. So this is how chapter 1 opens. Time is not a line but a dimension, like the dimensions of space. If you can bend space, you can bend time also, and if you knew enough and could move faster than light, you could travel backwards in time and exist in 2 places at once. It was my brother Stephen who told me that, when he wore his ravelling maroon sweater to study in and spent a lot of time standing on his head so that the blood would run into his brain and nourish it. I didn't understand what he meant, but maybe he didn't explain it very well. He was already moving away from the imprecision of words. But I began then to think of time as having a shape, something you could see, like a series of liquid transparencies, one laid on top of another. You don't look back a long time, but down through it like water. Sometimes this comes to the surface, sometimes that, sometimes nothing. Nothing goes away. Ooh, and that is chapter 1, and then the story kicks off, and I'm very excited to get to this book. So if you are interested in reading Cat's Eye, please join us. It'll be very exciting, and we will be having our live show, live discussion in the last week of April, so you have plenty of time to get your hands on the book and read it. And definitely let me know either in the comments or find me over on Twitter and let me know that you'll be taking part, because that will very much make me more excited to be hosting this book club. But like I said at the beginning of the video, there is absolutely no pressure, and if you want to just come along to the live show without reading the book, you are also very welcome. This is a very chill, no stress, just vibes book club, and you are welcome to engage with it as much or as little as you want to. I will not be judging you at all. And that is it for this announcement. I believe I will have more concrete dates and times for the live show nearer the time, because B is still in the midst of university deadlines, so I need to make sure it's at a time that works for her. But I will definitely be letting people know via Twitter or in the comments of this video. I will pin it later on once we know. But yeah, I would love to see you there at the live show. If you want to read the book or not, that's up to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Bye.